Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk about the recent box office. It was a holiday in America, Memorial Day, and this was a huge weekend for theaters, with both Lilo and Stitch and Mission Impossible breaking records. So we have an article from The Hollywood Reporter going over it. It's called Lilo and Stitch sews up record $182.7 million at Memorial Day box office. Mission Impossible nabs series best at $79 million. The two films delivered the biggest Memorial Day picnic in history at the box office, while Lilo supplanted Tom Cruise's Top Gun Maverick as the holiday's top opener of all time, among numerous other feats. So I don't think anyone's really surprised by this. Stitch has been a major moneymaker for Disney for quite a while now, being a very marketable character, and I wouldn't be surprised if this movie single-handedly reinvigorates Disney's live-action remakes. Maybe they'll be more selective with what they remake, but they're definitely going to keep coming. Plus, this was the last movie in the Mission Impossible franchise, so a lot of people came out to support it, resulting in a major milestone for blockbuster movies. So let's get into the article. So it starts with Disney's live-action redo of Lilo and Stitch and Tom Cruise's final Mission Impossible movie from Paramount and Skydance fueled the biggest Memorial Day weekend of all time as attendance skyrocketed across all demos. Lilo and Stitch blew away all expectations with a record-smashing 4-day domestic debut of $192.7 million, a jaw-dropping $361.3 million globally, while Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning opened to the series' best $79 million domestically, and a franchise high of $191 million globally, according to weekend actuals. The numbers include a 3-day weekend gross of $145.5 million for Lilo and $64 million for Final Reckoning. On Memorial Day itself, Lilo earned a near record of $37 million. And I'm sure Disney is very happy with themselves, even if in my opinion the movie's a pale imitation of the original. It doesn't really matter to Disney, they made their money. It goes on to say the previous best Memorial Day frame in terms of overall revenue belonged to the $306 million in ticket sales collected in 2013 when Fast and Furious 6 zoomed to $117 million, followed by The Hangover Part 3 with $50 million. This year also marked the best showing for two Memorial Day titles going up against each other. In 2007, Pirates of the Caribbean At World's End opened to $140 million over the holiday frame, followed by Shrek the Third at $67 million. I'm not sure how much overlap there is with Lilo and Stitch and Mission Impossible. Lilo and Stitch also didn't have a lot of competition when it comes to family movies, which I'm sure helped it along. While the mashup isn't quite the same cultural phenomenon that Barbenheimer was in July 2023, the potent combo of the two movies can't be ignored in terms of conquering and dividing. Yeah, I don't think most people are doing a double feature the way they did with Barbenheimer. I think it was more the juxtaposition between Barbie and Oppenheimer that launched a bunch of memes, but we didn't really see that with Lilo and Mission Impossible. The female-fueled Lilo was always expected to beat the latest male-driven Mission Impossible title, but no one imagined it would hit these heights and, in an ironic twist, see Lilo and Stitch supplant Cruise's Top Gun Maverick to rank the biggest Memorial Day opener of all time, not adjusted for inflation. That's not the only irony. Cruise, starring the Steven Spielberg-directed Minority Report, was in a dead heat with the original animated Lilo and Stitch when they opened opposite each other in June 2002. Minority Report prevailed by a hair. Again, I don't really think it's worth comparing the two because they don't really have a lot of overlap in their audiences. Like, Lilo and Stitch probably captured the family market with kids 12 and under too, and they don't really have a lot of options right now anyway because it's like Final Destination and Mission Impossible and stuff. I mean, the remake for How to Train Your Dragon is coming out soon, but I would like to see more original properties for younger kids instead of just remakes. But you know, Hollywood's bread and butter is remakes and sequels and stuff, which is a shame, but it is what it is. So we continue with, in North America, Lilo also zoomed to the second biggest gross of all time for any 4-day holiday weekend behind the $242 million opening of Marvel and Disney's Black Panther, and the third biggest debut ever for a Disney live-action title, both domestically and globally, behind Beauty and the Beast and crown holder The Lion King, not adjusted for inflation. Not adjusted for inflation. The film also pushed Disney past $2 billion in worldwide ticket sales, the first studio to do so this year, so it looks like Snow White didn't do that much against Disney in the end. Would have been nice to see Disney slow down with the live-action remakes, but again, it is what it is. 3 weeks ago, Lilo and Stitch was tracking to open 120 million. On Thursday, that number had grown to 165 million. Then it came in even higher. The reason, thank members of Gen Z and Millennials, which together cover age groups 13 to 44. Millennials 35 and under were more interested than their older counterparts. So these were probably people who saw the film in theaters when it came out in 2002, and then wanted to go back to see it again. Although they probably could have re-released the movie in theaters, but they gotta milk those live-action remakes. And that's probably why they did these movies and live-action remakes anyway, for the nostalgia of it. So they can also take advantage of their Disney adult fan base. And as it says down here, it has a large appeal internationally too. Stitch does, I mean. It is also playing to a notably diverse audience. Latinos, the most frequent moviegoers in the US, made up 33% of ticket buyers, while the film scored the biggest opening ever for live-action Disney reimagining across Latin America. So Stitch continues to be an international moneymaker. It goes on to say both films benefited from strong scores from critics and glowing audience exits, including 5 out of 5 stars from moviegoers polled by industry-leading service PostTrack. Lilo has a Rotten Tomatoes critics score of 70% and nabbed an A cinema score from audiences. I wonder how much of that is a nostalgia talking though, and not actually looking at the movie for what it is. But in the end, it was a great weekend for both movies, which was a great send-off for Mission Impossible, but also probably means we're gonna get more live-action remakes, and a bunch of live-action sequels for Stitch. But it seems like the public at large is fine with this. I guess it's also nice to see theaters recover after the lockdowns that had a huge hit to theater going. But with movies like Minecraft and now the movies over the Memorial Day weekend, it looks like it's really recovering. For better or for worse, Minecraft was mostly coaxing on memes, to be honest. So I guess the world is slowly returning to normal, whether that's movie attendance being up, or Disney pumping out live-action remakes. I do think these remakes are largely forgettable and aren't really going to do much to add to Disney's legacy. And I think the reason they were able to make so much money off of these remakes in the first place is because of nostalgia. And it's a legacy they built up over decades. And now they're just coaxing on it and they don't really care. And I do think they should try to get back to actually making strong movies on their own, because eventually they're gonna run out of stuff to remake. But that's my opinion. What do you guys think? Did you enjoy Lilo and Stitch and Mission Impossible? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And I guess I'll see you next time. Bye for now. Thanks for watching, everyone. I really appreciate it. Before I go, I want to give a shout out to our members: Tyrant Carnivore, Shiny Orc Boy, Depth Charge Media, Samaru163, Gabby Hime, Verdant Range, JVR, Equestron, Norman Sweet Cream, Way Beyond Coincidence, Hunter Rose, 80s Nostalgia Guy, Felix Bam, Lucas Geist, J Draws, Meowsers, Sky, Philip, Isaac Martinez, Garcia XV Legend, Tobias Weller, Bandito Bane, Mac B909, Dakari the Professor, Todd McCaffrey, Omni Fair, Cavalcoj, Strider Exile, Phil C, Killer Bomb, Slawa Saporiguez, Entwined Boot 301, Griffin of Might, Frankie Camarillo, Datadyne Executive, Crimson Phantom, Jin the Goblin, Papa Hud 69, The Gengar King, and Daunter. Thank you for the support, and if you want to become a member, you can hit the join button next to the subscribe button. We also have Buy Me Coffee if you want to support us that way. And if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and that part's free. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.